Peace. Infinite waters diving deep once again. Wonderful deep divers. I woke up like this, all magical and fly, just whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Hey, let me say a big shout out to 5D Abundance, always sharing good energy on Infinite Waters. You're most definitely appreciated, 5D Abundance. Mentor, thank you for everything. Gratitude, respect 33. Hey, you're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. We haven't even started yet. So first and foremost, shout out to all of you deep divers. I hope you're taking care of yourself. And we're going to talk about things to leave behind in 2024. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. Okay. And I also want to hear from you too, deep divers. What are the things that you did in 2024 you want to leave behind in 2024? I got a whole list, deep divers. You should see it. It's really, really long. Oh, it's so long, right? First and foremost, let me say a big shout out to everybody who's joined the new Ralph Smart Patreon page for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/Ralph Smart. Deep divers, click the link down below and be inspired. Okay. Also, check out the #1 best-selling book, Feel Alive by Ralph Smart, on Amazon and at ralphsmart.com/the book, The Bible of Becoming Your Greatest Version. And the latest book, The Book of 1111 Infinite Quotes by Ralph Smart at ralphsmart.com/the book, The Secret Recipe to Becoming Your Greatest Version. And go and get the Good Ass Prana shirts, deep divers. All new designs you're going to love for men, women, children, even cats down the road at ralphsmart.com/clothes and spreadshirt.com if you're in America. And Feel Alive Part 2 finished. 2025, you're going to love it. Get ready for it. Okay. So we're going to start this show, deep divers, but we can only start it with the right soundtrack. We can only start the show with the right soundtrack. Deep divers, how you feeling today? Raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration. I feel so much better now. Hadouken, take all of that good ass energy I'm sending you. Whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. That's good. Okay, let's go, deep divers.
I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. So good to be alive, baby. Yeah, I'm so happy. It's a choice. So happy to manifest whatever we want, to be whatever we want. It's a choice.
Always a choice.
Freedom is a must. We have to become the spoon.
Oh yeah, shout out to all of you wonderful deep divers who. Shout out to Caleb. leaving the worry and overthinking behind. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to everyone who's in the chat. And once again, Deep Divers, reading all of your comments. So first and foremost, hit that like button right now if you support the real. We got a whole lot to talk about. Hit that like button right now if you support the real. We got a whole lot to talk about. So things we did in 2024, we should leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things you've done, Deep Divers, in 2024 that you're like, actually, wait a second, that's got to go in the trash. We got to leave that behind in 2024. There are things we've all done. Even the cat down the road has done it. Deep Divers, and we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Right? So let me start with myself, Deep Divers. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. First and foremost, let me tell you this. It's a new year in the Matrix. So it's a new cycle, right? This is the time where people are anticipating a whole new beginning. And there are things that we have to really keep in 2024. 2024 was a crazy year. A lot of things happened, right? It was a kind of roller coaster of emotions. A lot of people went through a whole lot of stuff. Some people moved house. Some people changed country. Some people lost money. Some people made money. Some people got married. Did you get married, Deep Diver? Some people got divorced. Oh my gosh. Some people picked up bad habits again, old habits again. So things we did, we should leave in 2024. First and foremost, for me, it's all about letting go of things not serving me. Letting go of things not serving me. A lot of people were holding on to things not serving them in 2024. Was that you, Deep Divers? Were you holding on to something not serving you in 2024? Were you holding on to something not serving you in 2024? Was that you? A lot of people were. And once again, we got to put that in the trash. We got to put that in the trash, Deep Divers. We have to put that in the trash. Because you see, there comes a point in time when you remind yourself that we want to be as light as possible. You see, one of the things a lot of people are holding on to in 2024, because I'm connecting with a lot of people, Deep Divers, is that they were settling. They were settling for a job not serving them. They were settling for a lifestyle not serving them. They're walking around with a chip on their shoulder, knowing that the life they're living is toxic, but they're still doing it. And that's what we have to leave behind in 2024. Things we should leave behind in 2024, Deep Divers. What are some of the things that you did in 2024 that you definitely want to leave behind? That you definitely need to leave behind? Well, let's talk about procrastination for a second. The amount of people I see with 1,000,001 excuses. They're like, Ralph, I want to do what you're doing. I want to help other people. I'm like, go for it. They're like, well, I'll do it when? You see, along my early journey, I was inspired by someone who said, if not now, when? Slow motion this side. If not now, when? If not now, when? So you've got to remind yourself every single day, if you're not going to do it right now, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? Because you see, tomorrow isn't promised for anybody. Let me repeat that. Tomorrow isn't promised for anybody. So South Korea, a plane went down in South Korea. 179 people on board lost their lives. They showed a little boy, a little girl. That was that. So if you are someone who thinks that, hey, I can just procrastinate, it's now or never. And this is the mindset that's helped me become my greatest version. Things we did in 2024, we should leave behind in 2024 was a whole lot of procrastination. A whole lot of procrastination. A lot of people were procrastinating. A lot of people were leaving it till the last minute. And we've got to remind ourselves every single day that we got to stop that. We have to stop that. And one of the greatest things that's helped me along my journey is to remind myself that it's now or never. This is the mindset I have every single day. It's now or never. So if you are someone who is always procrastinating, if you're someone who's always leaving it till the last minute, make a vow to yourself that actually, I got to leave that behind. Where does it have to go? Oh, it's got to go in the trash. Absolutely. Absolutely. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. Deep divers, what are some of the things that you did? Some of the things that you did that you really want to leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things that you did? Things we did. I've got another one for you. You see, 2024 for a lot of people was all about following trends. A lot of people were doing what other people were doing. And that's how we get stuck. And I realized that now with the internet, with attention, which is the new currency, a lot of people, they want to go viral. They're begging to go viral because with TikTok, anyone can go viral. So people are doing anything and everything under the sun to get attention, right? So things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. Trying to win the approval of other people. Okay, we have to leave that behind in 2024. Trying to win the approval of other people. One of the biggest ways that people do this is by just doing what they think is going to get the most attention. The amount of things I can talk about, deep divers, I don't even talk about because I don't need the attention. I already had the attention in 2015, 2016, but that attention was all about positivity, elevation. I had videos of marijuana going viral, getting 5 million views. Third Eye, 5 million views. But there are certain things that happen. I could talk about it, but I say, is it going to be helpful? Is it going to be beneficial? Is it going to help us all become our greatest version? And when we talk about things to leave behind in 2024, it's not always wise to do what everyone wants you to do. That's how you lose your soul. That's how people start molding you, right? And you've got to remind yourself every single day, the reason why I'm still here is because I go to the beat of my own drum. And if you are someone who moves to the beat of their own drum, you're going to have longevity. And this is what we have to leave behind in 2024 as we move towards a new year in the Matrix, 2025. You want to remind yourself to say, actually, let me not just do what I think is going to get the most attention, but let me do what is most authentic to me. And it's not easy. It's very difficult to do that because, once again, attention is the new currency. The more attention you get, the more money you're going to make in the Matrix. Let me repeat that. The more attention you get, the more money you're going to make in the Matrix. There's a reason why certain celebrities, they always have to go on tour. They always have to be in front of the camera, the paparazzi, because they need the paparazzi like the paparazzi need them. It's a two-way business, two-way relationship, because these celebrities, if they lose relevance, that bag is going to dry up. But at the same time, there comes a point in time where you have to say, okay, where's my integrity at? And I've seen it all too often. A lot of people did things in 2024 which they regret. A lot of people did things they know they shouldn't have done. It wasn't really in alignment with who they are, but they did it anyway. And now they're like, actually, I don't want to do that. Well, we got to leave that behind in 2024, right? Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. A lot of people in 2024, they allowed fear to consume them. Was that you, deep divers? Did you allow fear to consume you? Did you allow fear to swallow you? Did you allow fear to govern your every single move? And so many people in 2024 allowed that to happen to them. They allowed fear to get the best of them. And every single day I'm reminding myself that actually the only way you can go to the next level is by facing your fear, is by doing what's uncomfortable. Once again, I was just having a good time uploading videos, and that was what I was doing. Then I realized, okay, this live streaming thing is taking off. I got to keep up with this thing. So I had to adapt my whole style, right? Say, okay, I'm doing the nature videos every day, but I have to move with the times. And at first it was very uncomfortable because normally I just love being in the heart of nature. But then I said, okay, you got to be smart, Ralph. And you have to realize where the world is heading. So you got to not be too stuck in your ways. And a lot of people, that's a phenomenal thing to leave behind in 2024. Not be too stuck in your ways, but be able to adapt, be able to move forward, and be able to be innovative. What are you leaving behind in 2024, deep divers? What are the things that you did that you want to leave behind in 2024? Let me know. Let me know, deep divers. Shout out to everybody who's here, everybody who's diving deep. What else? One of the biggest things we did, we should leave behind in 2024 is what I call in-house fighting. In-house fighting. You see, there's a reason why Ralph Smart hasn't been involved in beef for over a decade, right? There's a reason why Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters, Diving Deep, hasn't been in beef for over a decade, even more than that. Well, there's a reason, because you see, once again, that will get me a lot of attention. I can just start beef with someone, right? Start making diss videos and that video. That creates a lot of attention. So a lot of people actually have beef because you can make a lot of money from beef, right? Certain artists, they actually do it on purpose. Even certain content creators have beef on purpose because when you have a division, now people love it. People love this. People love, oh my gosh, did you see what happened with her? Did you see what happened with him? Right? So once again, beef creates a lot of revenue. And a lot of people create fake beef, or they purposefully engage in beef because it gets views, it gets all of that. But if you are someone who doesn't need to do that and you're still good, congratulations. That's me, right? So things we did, we should leave in 2024 is what I call in-house fighting. A lot of people right now waking up on the planet. A lot of people right now are in this great awakening movement. And you've got to remind yourself that there's no time to be going back and forth with each other. If we're not building, if we're not moving forward, what are we doing? So along my early journey, I learned that very quickly to say, okay, there's no time to attack other people. Even if you don't agree with them, focus on what you're doing. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. A lot of people, what were they doing? They were attacking other people. And I always say, you can do that if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You can do that if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But if you haven't even found your purpose yet, if you're not even doing what you're supposed to be doing, what on earth are you doing? And you see a lot of people in 2024, they got sidetracked, they got distracted. You see, if it's not helping you go to the next level, it's a distraction. So things to leave behind in 2024 is to remind yourself that if it's not going to take you to that next level, it's only a distraction. If it's not going to help you elevate, help you grow, it's only a distraction. You know, you've got to remind yourself that there's a lot of work that has to be done. You know, there's levels to this. There's levels to levels. You know, a lot of the times, even me, when I'm sharing, I'm mindful of what I'm sharing. Any video I make, even if it's on a mainstream news topic, if you notice, it's always tied into how it's going to help you become your greatest version. I'm not just talking about someone for the sake of talking about them. I'm saying, okay, let's learn the lesson. What can we learn from that situation, right? So, you know, we're in a powerful time right now. Things to leave behind in 2024. One of the biggest things is a lot of people they got caught up on the couch. Let's just put it that way. You know, they had a job to do, but they got caught up on the couch. First and foremost, deep divers, let's give thanks, let's give appreciation. Spiritual D, always supporting the show, always giving thanks. Let me give you a round of applause and a thank you. Spiritual D, you're most definitely appreciated. Good brother. Peace, been a free being since 2019. I'm 23. Just want to spread love and say stay vigilant. The world has to get worse before it gets better. Love to all. Absolutely. Absolutely. The world has to get worse before it gets better. Absolutely. And that's what it's always about. Stay vigilant. Stay awake. Because you see, always at the start of the new year in the Matrix, there's always a big upset. There's always something bad that happens in the beginning of the year. So just as everyone is celebrating, oh my gosh, it's 2025, this, then to lower the frequency, there's a tragedy. There's a terrible thing that happens usually within the first 5 days of the new year. So pay attention. Don't get carried away, because once again, like D is saying, the world has to get worse before it gets better. And if you know, you realize that actually, you know, a lot of people don't realize that they haven't seen anything yet. A lot of strange things have been happening. And this is a time where you really want to keep your energy high, protect your energy as much as possible, because it's about to get crazy. Things we're leaving behind in 2024. Things we did in 2024 that has to stay in 2024. What are the things that you did, deep divers, in 2024 that has to stay in 2024? Well, let me tell you this. I realized that in 2024, I was too hard on myself. A lot of people are too hard on themselves. And the great paradox is that those who do the most are often the most hard on themselves. Sometimes you got to take a break and say, actually, I'm doing fantastic. Actually, I'm doing amazing. Actually, I'm doing phenomenal. A lot of people were way too hard on themselves in 2024. A lot of people were way too hard on themselves in 2024. A lot of people were mentally unkind to themselves in 2024. And this is what we have to leave behind in 2024. Do you agree, deep divers, or do you agree? If you agree, hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button if you agree, share the video. Right? A lot of people are way too hard on themselves in 2024. And the thing is, when you remind yourself that the only way to move to this new year is to be mentally kinder to yourself. Because you see, so many people, they tell themselves every single day they're doing a crap job. They're doing a terrible job. So all of these words are now becoming a part of your reality. And this is what happened for a lot of people in 2024. It was never quite good enough. People were mad at themselves, throwing temper tantrums and throwing the cat down the road out of the window. Don't do that again, deep divers. But it's because a lot of people were putting way too much pressure on themselves. Take into consideration, there's more competition right now on the planet than ever before. There's more competition on the planet than ever before because everyone is creating. Everyone has a phone. If you work somewhere in the city, chances are someone else is opposite you doing the same thing. So a lot of people have a lot of pressure on themselves. And what we have to leave behind in 2024 is this need to always compare ourselves with other people. Is that you? Do you always compare yourself to other people? And my saving grace was to say, actually, I'm in a league of my own. And when you learn to be in a league of your own, you can sleep at night, right? And a lot of people in 2024, they were so preoccupied with really trying to fit in. They were so caught up with trying to keep up with the Joneses. They were so caught up in doing what everyone else was doing and looking over at someone else's fence, they forgot about what they were doing. Were you that person in 2024, deep divers? You're so busy looking at someone else, you're forgetting about what you're here to do. So I had to remind myself that actually we got to focus on ourselves moving forward, right? To 2025, you want to focus on yourself as much as possible because you don't want to be comparing yourself, ladies, to her. Fellas, you don't want to be comparing yourself to him. You got to remind yourself that you are a unique creation and you want to be more preoccupied with being custom made. Because the truth is, there's always going to be someone ahead of you. There's always going to be someone behind you. The question is, focus on yourself and realize that you're not running the same race as anybody. You know, sometimes we all get concerned, we all get preoccupied with thinking that we're running the same race as someone else. Ever been in that competitive mode, deep divers, where you're thinking you're competing with someone and they're not even paying attention to you? They don't even know who you are, but you've got them as a competitor. You're going against them in your mind, and it's you that's going to suffer. You know, one of the ways I was able to create leverage and grow Infinite Waters was because I was an anomaly. And if you can leave behind in 2024 this need to compete with other people you don't know and embrace just this focus for yourself, I guarantee you, you're going to be ahead by leaps and bounds of 99% of people. You see, what's happened to a lot of people, even the content creation space, is that a lot of people, they haven't found out who they really are. So I created Infinite Waters by not even mentioning one celebrity's name. And by the way, we are the real stars, the real celebrities, but I created Infinite Waters by not mentioning one celebrity's name because I had other content to talk about. And this new generation, they got a name drop. They got to talk about this, talk about that, what's happening out there. And That's going to bring you attention. It's good, but it's not going to bring you longevity. That's the difference. So in the next 10 years, I'll still be here because I got a core fan base who is all about becoming their greatest version. So that's the reason why I don't get so caught up in entertainment content. Because yes, it's entertaining for a little while, but after that, what are we doing? And this is what we have to leave behind in 2024 for a lot of people, is to say, okay, how is this information going to take me to the next level? Because you see, I was wise enough back in the day to listen to my mentor. He said, Ralph, focus on the content that can help you become an enigma, that can help you go to the next level. And the truth is that content may not have the most attention, but it's the most beneficial. And in 2024, a lot of people were focusing on Jay-Z, focusing on Diddy, focusing on Taylor Swift, focusing on Justin Bieber. That's all well and good, but you have to ask yourself, what about my own life? And this is what we have to take into consideration with 2025 here. You have to be focusing on your own life and not these false idols in the matrix, because this is how you can really grow and go to the next level. Deep divers, things we did, we should leave behind in 2024, right? So a lot of people in 2024, they were holding on to grudges. Is that you, deep divers? Are you a spiteful person? The cat down the road wants to know. A lot of people are holding on to resentment for someone else. They're holding on to this heavy energy. I know someone wronged you. Even the cat down the road knows about that. What happens when you're holding on to a grudge? You know, there's a lot of people who feel tired all the time. And I tell them, are you holding on to a grudge? And they often say yes. They're like, Ralph, someone wronged me. Someone did me dirty. I've got to get my revenge. They always say this. I've got to get my revenge. It's payback. Is that you? Deep divers, did someone wrong you out there? Are you looking to get your revenge? Well, that's something we have to leave behind in 2024. Because you see, holding on to a grudge is like holding a hot piece of charcoal expecting the other person to get burnt. A lot of people holding on to these grudges, not realizing it's only going to drain your energy. I know a lot of people have done me wrong. I know a lot of people have done you wrong. But at the same time, it's up to you to not allow other people to steal your inner peace. That's a slow motion, right? That's a slow motion, deep divers. Slow motion this side. Echoes of light, you're most definitely appreciated. Gratitude. Let's start off with gratitude, deep divers. Ralphie, thank you for always keeping integrity. That's what I'm here to do. You're most definitely appreciated. Star Fury, let me give you a round of applause and a big thank you for supporting the show. Star Fury, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Long time deep divers, first time donor. Have a cup of coffee with the cat down the road. Hey, I need a cup of coffee. I need to stay awake. I don't actually need a cup of coffee, but I need some good ass prana, baby. Have a cup of coffee. Have a cup of coffee with the cat down the road. On me, blessed 2025 to you, sir. Hey, I appreciate that, Star Fury. And once again, you know, there's so many amazing deep dive. That's why I go live, because to be honest, I could have uploaded a video, but I'm like, no, the deep divers deserve a live stream from me because, we're going into a new year, 2025, and I want to get you right for the new year. I want to get everything in order. I want to help you move to that place you've always wanted to be at because, like I told you, 2025 is only going to be amazing when you've done the work, when you've left certain things in 2024 where they're supposed to be. We've got to remind ourselves of that every single day. VW, let me give you a round of applause for being so awesome. You're most definitely appreciated. Thank you. VW. Could you ever do a video on your recording equipment? This would be very helpful for those of us who want to create inspiring content ourselves. Woo! These are the comments I like. Absolutely. That's so important because you see, remind yourself 2025 is about going to the next level. And that means learning how to use these tools. And because you've just generously supported the show, I'm going to give you some advice right here. So could you ever do a video on the recording equipment? And I'll give you a little breakdown. So when I first started making videos, I bought a Canon 5D full frame camera, 5D Mark II. It cost £1,000 at the time I was in London, right? And it was an amazing camera because it allowed me to do something which a lot of people couldn't do. Fast forward to today, everyone has an iPhone, right? So with recording equipment, remind yourself you already have an iPhone right here. This thing can do 4K. It's good. When you talk about content creation, technology is accelerated so fast that it's not even about the recording equipment. It's about the message, the story. Your phone can take a fantastic video. I'm sure you watch viral videos filmed on someone's iPhone, right? Sony make great mirrorless cameras, right? Fuji. I'm filming right now on an XH2S camera. XH2S camera, right? With a 18 millimeter lens. 18 millimeter lens. I'm very much into tech, but you see, these are all tools in my toolbox. And because I've been creating with content creation for so long, I've got every tool that I need for every situation. I can film on film cameras, Arri Alexa. I can film on Sony Venice. I can film on the iPhone. Recording equipment, audio is 50%. You can have the best video in the world, VW, but if you don't have good audio, the audience switch off. So audio is just as important as video. And right now I'm recording with a shotgun microphone, Sennheiser, and it's right here. You can't even see it, right? Because I got this microphone I could use. Hey, this is like a podcast microphone, right? This is like something which you might see on a Joe Rogan show. This is the Earthworks. But I said, I don't want to always do this, right? I want to just do this, right? So a great podcast mic is the Shure SM7B or the Earthworks, one of the best microphones for podcasting. Or if you want to go to the next level, get a shotgun Sennheiser 416, boom it up, and you don't even have to have it in the frame. But I'm going to do a whole video course on content creation, and that's coming 2025. Oh, baby. Right? But that's a big thing. Because once again, things we have to leave behind in 2024 is a limited mind. We want to have an expansive mind. We want to say, actually, how can I learn new things? You see, every single day I'm putting myself in the field to become my greatest version. And I realize I have to have new knowledge. New knowledge is going to help you go to the next level. But how many of us in 2024 knew we had to learn something but chose to lie on the couch? Knew we had to learn something but chose to, have the day off and just lie on the sofa. And these are the things that we have to throw in the trash in 2024, because you see, I live with the motto, no excuses, right? That's the motto Ralph Smart has. People say, gosh, Ralph, you're like the Michael Jordan of YouTube. You're so consistent. Well, it's because my mantra is no excuses. My mantra is no excuses. If you want to do something, deep divers, you can do it. Because you got 24 hours in the day. 24 hours in the day to do whatever you want to do. So when a lot of people get caught up in procrastination, the truth is it's because they don't really want to do it. You see, procrastination emanates from a desire to not do something. Let me repeat that. Procrastination, it comes from a desire to not do something. When you have no love for what you're doing, you're going to put it off. You're going to say, actually, I'll do it next week. The amount of people that are caught up in a job they don't want to be in or a lifestyle they don't like, they're going to move towards procrastination. They're going to move towards saying, you know what? I want to take the day off. I'm feeling tired. And these are the things that we have to throw in the trash. This is a trash dump, deep divers. We've got to put it in the trash in 2024. Because you see, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to say, actually, I've got to give it a shot. I've got to give it a go. And if you're not giving it your all, how will you ever know that you will never know you could have taken it to the next level, deep divers, right? So you have to see how far you can go. You can only do that with no excuses. So things we're leaving behind in 2024 are the excuses. And my oh my, I had a lot of excuses. I'm sure you also had a lot of excuses. Now in 2025, we've got to find the reasons. We've got to find the reasons. How many of you deep divers wanted to travel somewhere, but you were like, actually, I can't do it right now? And you've been saying that for a while. Well, 2025 is where you make the jump. You take the leap. How many of you were like, actually, I want to start content creation. I want to, create a website. I want to start a YouTube channel. Well, 2025 is where you make it happen. How many of you were like, actually, I need to study. I need to go back to school. Get an extra qualification. Well, it's time to do that. Things to leave behind in 2024, deep divers. What do we have? What do you want to leave behind, deep divers, in 2024? Let me know. Shout out to everyone in the chat. You're most definitely appreciated. Smash that like button if you support the real, share the video. Hit that like button right now if you support the real, share the video. Look, what I'm also leaving behind is a fascination with what's happening in the media. What I've realized, how this matrix is set up, is that it gets us focusing on low vibrational stuff every single day. And this is the reason why a lot of people feel tired. They feel depressed, because the news is toxic. And things I'm leaving behind in 2024 is news not serving me. And, I have to kind of be aware of what's happening, because just in case I might have to put it in a video. But to be honest, there's so much bad news. People don't even realize what this is doing to their subconscious mind, what this is doing to their whole DNA, what this is doing to their whole perception. You're waking up thinking the world is a terrible place. So things to leave behind in 2024 is to not only focus on the doom and gloom. And what I have is that for every bad piece of news you read, have a good piece of news you also read. condolences to those people on the plane. I think it was South Korea, 179 people. That's awful, right? Another one in Abidjan, in somewhere else. A lot of plane crashes recently. And, we have to remind ourselves that, we want to also be focusing on something that can uplift our souls, right? 2024, things to leave behind. One of the biggest things I'm leaving behind is reminding myself I don't always have to be right. 2024 saw a lot of people going back and forth. And 2025 is about realizing you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have all the answers. You can listen to other people. Other people's perspective is just as important as yours. No one is a sole authority of anything. Everyone can learn from everyone. And this is the mindset for 2025. These are the things I'm leaving behind in 2024. Deep divers. Things to leave behind in 2025. 2024. Things to leave behind in 2024. Poking your nose into other people's business. And, I'm leaving that behind in 2024. It doesn't mean that I won't poke my nose into your business as well, deep divers. But I'm leaving it behind. What I mean is that, like I told you, there's a lot of videos I can do. Now, if I talk about like a mainstream topic, I'll talk about it. I'll keep talking about that, but I'm not always just talking about that same topic, even though I could make 5-6 videos on it. Because I realize that, yes, it's good to talk about what's trending, but also you got to be careful about poking your nose into other people's business, because once again, you forget about yourself. You forget about what you're doing, what you're here to do. So this is the reason why I don't talk about a lot of celebrities on this channel a lot. I might talk about it, once a week, if that, but it's because those people are already wealthy. They don't need me to be a PR for them. Right? And we have to remind ourselves 2025 is about realizing we are the real celebrities, and this is coming back. Things to leave behind in 2024 is people pleasing. People pleasing. Are you someone who is a people pleaser? This is what we have to leave behind. Hey, Arpad, you're most definitely let me give you a round of applause and shout out to everyone who's in the chat. I see all of you. Deep divers, shout out to you. Arpad, let me give you a round of applause. You're most definitely appreciated. Arpad, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Thank you. How to wake up from amnesia caused by past trauma. Phenomenal question. Phenomenal question. And let's start with this. We are everything that's ever happened to us. And more. But our past also makes up our present. And that's the reason why I studied psychology. At 17 years old, University of Westminster, graduated, not only got a degree in psychology, also got a degree in criminology. Because I was always fascinated with Carl Jung, Fritz Perls, Carl Rogers, founder of humanist psychology. This is what I do. So when I was studying psychology in university, I was literally healing myself. I was actually going to therapy. You know, that's how I'm able to share so much, because I always say, when I was in university, I was going through so much. Not even the cat down the road by my side, deep divers. And I actually went to therapy. I was like, oh my gosh. Then I realized why it's so important. Why it's so important to share. Because a lot of people, they don't even have anyone to talk to. And if you don't get it off your chest, it's going to eat you alive. There's a lot of people that seem fantastic. They got all the money in the world. They got everything. But at the same time, they don't want to be here. So you realize something is wrong. Something isn't adding up. The math ain't mathing. Some people look, there was a model a few years ago who jumped off an apartment building. Beautiful woman. Something was going on inside her past, right? So you hear of these stories, and you have to remind yourself, first and foremost, to wake up from the amnesia. You must talk. You must not hold it in. You must express yourself. I'm an open book. I literally talk about so much, and there's even more things I can talk about, but that's the first step. If you want to heal past trauma, you have to start expressing how you feel, what happened to you. Because there's a lot of people who are like, hey, I don't need to talk about anything. I don't need therapy. I'm good. These are the people, as soon as something happens, they just shatter. Because these are the people who get crushed very easily. All they need is one trigger moment, then they're going to explode. And this is why sometimes you can see someone is smiling. Yeah, they're fantastic. Next day, they're out of here because they got triggered. They just exploded. And you got millions of people walking around with trauma, and they haven't done the work to heal it. And if you say the wrong thing to them, if you look at them the wrong way, they can get triggered. They might do something to you or anybody you know, because they haven't taken time to find out what the real problem is. Now you're the problem. And this is why you got to be careful of how you speak to people, because you don't even realize that some people are loose wires, live wires. And at any time they can just get triggered. And that's the reason why healing your own trauma begins with you expressing how you feel. It begins with you opening up. It begins with you learning how to be vulnerable. And it involves doing the shadow work, right? But Arpad, phenomenal question. Shout out to you. Deep Diver, shout out to everyone in the chat. We're live. And we're talking about things we did we should leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things that you did, Deep Divers, that you want to leave behind in 2024, right? So another one is letting themselves go. People who let themselves go. People who forgot to protect their mental health. These are the things we have to leave behind in 2024. An insufficient amount of self-care will lead to catastrophic consequences. An insufficient amount of self-care will lead to catastrophic consequences. And I've seen it, and I always see it with people who think that they don't need to practice self-care. They don't need to take care of their mental health. They go off the rails. They start spiraling out of control because they don't realize that, hey, you got to maintain this vehicle. And if you don't have maintenance, you're not only going to crash, things are going to fall apart very fast. So it's all about realizing 2025 is about protecting your mental health, allocating time to preserve it. And things I'm leaving behind in 2024 is insufficient mental health time. You know, sometimes, Deep Divers, you got to take a break. And even though I'm creating a lot, I'm always taking a break. I'm always meditating for 1 hour every single day because I need that for my mental health. What are you doing? What are the things that you want to do for 2025 that's going to help you get a better mental health? That's going to help you get a better mental health. What are some of the things that you need to do? What are some of the things that you did in 2024 that destroyed your mental health, right? A common thing a lot of people did in 2024 was that they woke up. Actually, they didn't wake up. They lied down and they had their phone by their side and they were just scrolling, doom scrolling. And it's a trap. So things to leave behind in 2024 is giving time to things which don't matter. You know, a lot of people gave time to things which ain't going to add up to anything in the long run. And it feels good at the time because you see, a lot of people in the Matrix, they just want a caffeine high, you know, candy. It tastes good. But afterwards you feel like crap. And this is how the Matrix hooks people. 2024 is about letting go of feeling unworthy. You want to go out there and realize you can have it. It's yours. You want to act like it's already here. And this is how you can go to the next level. Because I see so many people in 2024, they're like, hey, I can't be at that level. Hey, that will never happen for me. Hey, I can't do that. And in 2025, it's about acting like it's already here. It's about putting yourself in pole position. It's about realizing you have to stop asking for permission to be great. Nobody's going to tell you how to be great. No one's going to say, hey, here you go. You got to take it with both hands. And this is how you go to the next level. No one is going to tell you how to be great. No one is going to give you greatness. You must give it to yourself and hold your head up high and say, you know what? I can go into any boardroom. I can talk to anyone. Right? And I'm my own CEO. These are the boss mindsets for 2025 that are going to take you to the next level. Because once again, before you move to 2025, you got to leave things in 2024. Once again, the amount of people who are carrying things with them, and 2025 is only going to be a repeat of 2024. That's why I made this video. Because just as 2025 begins, you have to leave things that don't have to be there. You got to leave them in 2024. Things we did, deep divers, let's talk about it. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things you did, deep divers? Spill the beans. What are some of the things that you did that you want to leave behind in 2024, right? So one of the biggest things I did was realizing that I'm always sharing with the world. I'm a Pisces. So as a Pisces, I'm an empath naturally. And if you're a Pisces, you know what I'm talking about. So all the time we want to help everyone else. We sometimes forget about ourselves. But I always remember me, deep divers. But even now, moving forward, I'm like, okay, Ralph, you have to make sure you're not spreading yourself too thin. So even though you might have this ability to share and help other people, you've got to put your own life jacket on first, right? You got to put your own life jacket on first. So these are the things we've got to leave behind in 2024. Not everyone is Mother Teresa. You don't have to be, right? Sometimes you got to take care of your own needs first and then help other people. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. People pleasing. The amount of people who write to me saying, hey, Ralph, my mom made me do it. My dad made me do it. They told me to do this. I wanted to please them. I wanted to make them happy. And now, Ralph, my whole entire life is screwed up. A lot of people, they get ruined in the process of trying to people please. And this is something we most definitely have to leave behind in 2024. Always striving to people please will lead to catastrophic consequences. Always striving to people please will lead to catastrophic consequences. You know, in the Fight Club, they said, we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. So if that's you, it's time to leave that behind in 2024. Are you someone, deep divers, who's buying things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't like? Well, what happens with social media? People take photos, they take selfies they don't like, right? With a phone that's not theirs to impress people they don't even know. Right? So it even happens on social media. This is what we have to leave behind in 2024. And I'm telling you this sincerely because I'm someone who is, you know, the universe keeps blessing me. I'm already good, deep divers. It's only good here. But I see other people who are coming up in the game. And I want the best for all of you. But I see one fundamental flaw they've been doing in 2024, and it's a need to show everyone what they're doing. And they're not doing anything because they're too busy trying to show off. They're too busy trying to take a selfie to impress other people on Instagram. And that's good. Of course, you want to share your life. You want to show people what you ate for breakfast. Not me. We ain't even had breakfast yet, deep divers, right? But at the same time, are you fooling yourself? You see, you can fool other people. Because sometimes I go on people's profiles. I say, okay, what's their story like? And I'm always going to see the correlation between their story and what they're manifesting in real life. And the people who are really manifesting a lot in real life, they don't have a lot of time just to showboat. Because they're too busy making it happen in real life. So things to leave behind in 2024 is this desire to always show off for the gram, to always show off on TikTok or on social media. If you know you're only fooling yourself, if you're only trying to people please and get approval and show how cool you are to the rest of the world, but if you're like, actually, I'm not where I'm supposed to be, then that's what you got to leave behind in 2024. The amount of people who are dying so hard, not trying so hard, dying so hard, to look good, dying so hard to try and fit in, dying so hard to show a glamorous life, which they're not really living. But if you go to their story, you would think these people have won the lottery. And the amount of people who are trying to do that, what they don't realize is that in that same time, they've missed an opportunity. 2025 is about realizing, hey, you don't have to get other people's attention. You need to have your own attention first and foremost. You need to have your own attention. You need to know what you're here to do, and you need to do it. The amount of time people waste uploading new stories. Why post something that's going to be gone in 24 hours? Slow motion this side. If it's not going to bring you something back in return. So things to leave behind in 2024. If you're someone who's spending hours upon hours trying to get a new Facebook story, a new Instagram story, that's great. But how is it helping you in the long run? Once again, don't spend all of that time for something that's going to be gone in 24 hours. What I had to learn and things I'm leaving behind in 2024 is to say, hey, Ralph, focus on longevity. Focus on creating something that's going to be here till the end of time, right? And this is what it's always about. You know, one of the biggest things is that it's a natural tendency for people to show that they're doing better than they actually are. It's a natural tendency for people to show that they're doing a whole lot better than they actually are. And you have to be careful because sometimes you can get caught up in a trap. And it happened in 2024, where a lot of people, they were living in delusions of grandeur. And they could fool the whole world. And that was enough for them. Don't let that be enough for you. Say, actually, you know what? I don't want to fool other people anymore because I definitely can't fool myself. Right now, moving forward to this new year, I have to not fake it till I make it. I just have to make it. Right? Deep divers, things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. Hey, shout out to everyone in the chat, deep divers. We've been going off. We've been having fun. Make sure all of you hit that like button if you support the real, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Once again, hit that like button right now if you support the real. And let me know, deep divers, what are the things you're leaving behind in 2024? Let me know. Let me tell you one. Toxic relationships, toxic friendships, toxic interactions. These are the things that must go in the trash. They must go in the trash in 2024. They have to. Because I see so many people invest time in a toxic relationship. I see so many people invest time in a toxic friendship. I see so many people invest time in a toxic interaction. And what do I mean by invest time? Arguing with someone will only mean that you will keep on arguing. It takes someone with emotional intelligence to say, you know what? I'm going to fall back and keep it moving. Are you someone, deep divers, who always has to have the last word? Well, it's time to leave that behind in 2024. I said, are you someone who always has to have, you always have to have the last word? Well, it's time to leave that behind in 2024. The amount of people I meet who always have to have the last word. And what happens is that the argument always goes on. Two strong heads come together. They're right. No peace. Only war. And this is what 2024 was like for a lot of people in relationships, in friendships, and interactions. They always had to have the last word. And once again, 2025 is not about that. 2025 is about where you say, actually, I haven't even got time to argue with someone if it's not going to help me become my greatest version. I haven't even got time to engage in conversations which don't go anywhere. What are we doing here? If we're not building, we're wasting time. So I always say, if you're someone who always has to have the last word, you got to remind yourself that's the 2024 energy. The 2025 energy is about saying, actually, let me keep it moving. I haven't got time to go back and forth with you. Don't you know there are some people who come into your life, they want to argue with you. They pick you out, they say, okay, Yasmin, I want to argue with you. Starlight, I want to argue with you. Infinite Abundance, Tom, shout out to everyone in the chat. I want to argue with you. They start arguing with you. What you don't realize is that that was a plan from the get-go. Because once you start engaging in an argument with them, now you lose focus on where you're supposed to be. Has that ever happened to you, deep divers? You're caught up arguing with someone. Now you've forgotten what you're here to do. They've made you mad. You can't even eat breakfast. Can't even eat lunch. They've stole your whole appetite, your whole peace of mind, messed up your whole rhythm. And that was their plan all along. And that's the reason why you have to have the emotional intelligence to remind yourself, don't fall for the bait. When someone wants to argue with you, they just tell you something out of the blue. You're like, what? That's a plan. Because once you engage, they got your attention. In other words, they have your energy. And that's the reason why don't argue with people if you can sense that actually these people just want to steal my energy. Once again, 2025 is not about arguing. It's about honoring each other's perspectives and keeping it moving. Once again, we haven't got the time to go back and forth unless we're going to create something amazing afterwards. That's slow motion. I said we haven't got the time to go back and forth, deep divers, unless we have the time to create something amazing. One more time. We haven't got the time to go back and forth in an argument unless we're going to create something amazing. But how many times do you create something amazing after going back and forth with someone? No. As soon as you finish, you're like, oh, I've had enough of that. So you've wasted your time. You've wasted your energy. We've got to throw that in the trash in 2024. Enough of that. 2025 is to say, hey, let's keep the vibes. Let's keep the vibes. Let's keep the vibes. If you're not talking with someone who's elevating your body, mind, and soul, what are you doing there? If you're not talking with someone who's elevating your body, mind, and soul, what are you doing there? If you're not talking with someone who's elevating your body, mind, and soul, what are you doing there? Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things you did in 2024, deep divers, this whole year that's passed, that you want to leave behind in 2024? It doesn't have to come into 2025. What are some of the things we can leave there? So, one of the biggest things is stressing about things you can't change. And that's what I'm leaving behind in 2024. Because I'm human as well. Sometimes I stress about things I can't change. I'm like, Ralph, it's too late. It's already gone. So that has to go in the trash in 2024. You see, a lot of people, they give themselves a hard time because they realize they can't change it. They want to go back into time and change a certain situation. They want to go back in time and change a certain event. They want to go back in time and change the outcome. But it's too late. It's already happened. And it's a mind trip when you realize there's nothing you can do about it. It's too late. So we've got to remind ourselves things to leave behind in 2024 is this desire to always stress about things we can't change. Stress about things that have already happened. Pull out our hair because we're worried about something that's already happened. People get into overthinking. And the amount of time people spend on that is shocking. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. So, procrastination is huge. It's always huge. Feel Alive Part 2 is out, deep divers. It's finished. You know, they always say don't tell people before you've done it. Well, I've done it. Hey, let me say a big shout out because I'm getting some messages from the Streamlabs. So I'm going to read a few. Deep divers, hit that like button if you support the real, share the video. Hit that like button if you support the real, share the video. And how are you feeling today, deep divers? Shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving deep. What are some of the things that you are leaving behind, deep divers, in 2024? What are some of the things you're leaving behind in 2024? William Bramble, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. I wanted to read your name, and I definitely thank you for that. You're most definitely appreciated. What are some of the things that you are leaving behind, deep divers, in 2024? So, one of the biggest things I'm leaving behind is to think that we need them. And what I mean by this is that, you see, a lot of people, especially with this content creation stuff, and even new people, they think that they have to talk about what's happening in the media for them to be relevant. And nothing could be further from the truth, right? So a lot of people, that's what they believe. A lot of people believe that they have to do what everyone else is doing. A lot of people believe that, okay, this thing is happening with this celebrity. I've got to talk about that because that's all what people want to hear. You got to remind yourself, when Infinite Waters was first created, it was a wave on YouTube where people were being true creatives, and we couldn't use a crutch and talk about what was happening out there. We had to figure it out ourselves. And I'm proof that that stuff is what a lot of people want to hear. I had videos getting 5 million views. I'm just saying, hey, here's what I eat. So I saw that it's possible. In this viral internet age, a lot of people think they've got to do what everyone else is doing to get a buzz. When in actuality, you can create the trend. And a lot of people, once you know that, it's game over. And in 2025, it's all about you realizing you want to be the pioneer. You want to create the trend. You don't want to be getting dragged around, and you don't want to be getting controlled. You want to remind yourself that we don't need them. They need us. A lot of people in 2024, they said, okay, I need them. I need to talk about Jay-Z. I need to talk about Diddy. I need to talk about Taylor Swift. You don't have to do that. And the funny thing is, I know why people feel that way. Is because that's what a lot of people want to hear. My video on Jay-Z went viral. I had a video about how to become your greatest version. Nobody saw it. So it seems a lot of people are more interested in that topic. And that's the reason why. That's how the matrix works. So in one way, this is what the people want. In another way, it's not the best meal for them. So as a content creator, you have to choose to say, okay, is this going to matter in the next 5 years? Or is it going to be here today, gone tomorrow? So things we have to leave behind in 2024 is just doing things that are only here for the moment. While in 2025, we want to be moving towards things that are going to be here for a long time. There are videos I made 2 years ago. I can release them right now. You would never know because it's still relevant. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. So you got to remind yourself, in your own endeavors to become your greatest version, there's always a temptation to do the easy thing. There's always a temptation to take a shortcut. And my oh my, there are so many shortcuts. But where's your integrity? Where's your values? Where's your morals? Is this something you really want to do? 2024, you saw people saying, okay, I slept with 100 guys in one day. 2025, they say, I want to do 1,000. This energy is for attention, because attention is the new drug on the planet. So people are going to do anything. And things we've got to leave behind in 2024 is just trying to keep up with what everyone else is trying to do. We got to focus on ourselves and say, okay, if that's what they want to do, let them do it. But I'm not going to be in competition with these people, because you're going to end up in big trouble. I'm not going to just do what everyone else is doing, because once again, a lot of people don't realize is that what a lot of people don't realize is if you entertain certain things, you got to live with that. And that's the reason why any topic I talk about, if it's a mainstream celebrity or if it's a trending topic, I always link it back into the central theme of this channel, because that's what keeps me around for a long time. If you're not careful, you can go down with it. Talking about low vibrational stuff will bring you down to its level. So you have to turn the energy around, find a positive, find a learning experience from the situation, and go to the next level. That was a mouthful. Deep divers. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. a lot of people deny themselves this. And that's so important. That's so important. The mental health is so huge. It is the holy grail. And the reason why I've been here for so long, a lot of people, you don't get this kind of run for over 10 years by accident. You do it because you're aware of mental health. There's so many content creators who ran into a whole lot of trouble because they don't realize that not just content creators, people, teachers, doctors, nurses, scientists living in this modern day world, they ran into all kinds of problems because they got burnt out. This matrix is going to burn you out. And if you don't prioritize time for mental health, it's going to catch up with you. So things we're leaving behind in 2024 is a neglect of mental health. And what we're embracing for 2025 is this. That's what we're embracing. We're embracing time for you. It's what we call me time. If you have me time every single day, not only are you going to be healthier, every single area of your life is going to change for the best way ever. It's going to change in the best way ever. And there's certain people on this planet who realize how important that is. And that's amazing. That's phenomenal. Sir Wilfred Laurier, shout out to you. Let me give you a round of applause. And deep divers, everyone here, make sure you hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Once again, smash that like button right now if you support The Real. I'm answering all of your questions. We just started. We're talking about things we did we should leave behind in 2024. Let's go. Fred Laurier, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Coming in with a question. Okay, let's talk about it. Ralph, how can one heal from jealousy and insecurities in an optimal way? Thank you, and may we all save ourselves peace, love, and healing to all. Ooh, that's a phenomenal question. That's a beautiful question. So, how can one heal from jealousy and insecurities in an optimal way? So you got to remind yourself that jealousy is a low frequency. To heal from jealousy, you have to find out why you're jealous. When you're envious of someone, and when you're jealous of someone, it's coming from a place of lack. So if I'm jealous of someone, it's because I feel that I can't get it myself. And this person has taken what I could potentially have. So anyone who is jealous of someone else is coming from a scarcity mindset. When you're living in abundance, what other people have doesn't affect you, doesn't impact you. Someone can be driving a Ferrari or Rolls Royce. You're not jealous. You're like, hey, go and enjoy yourself. You don't care. You are neutral. When you're jealous of someone, it's because you feel that they are taking what should be yours. Some women get jealous in relationships. Some men get jealous in relationships because they see their partner glancing at someone else. They're saying, no, you can't do that, right? So jealousy emanates from control. When you want to control everyone, you're a control freak, you're going to be very jealous. If you always want to control the outcome of every situation, you're going to be jealous. If you're always thinking that you can't manifest that yourself, you're always going to be jealous. There are people out there who have worked hard. You see, jealousy disappears when you work hard. Let me repeat that. Jealousy disappears when you work. If you're working hard, you'll never be jealous. It's the people who don't work at all, they're always jealous. The people who haven't done any work, they're jealous because they see someone else who has it and they want it. And it happens all the time. Robberies all over the world because people haven't done the work. Once you're doing the work, you realize that actually that person who has all of that success, who's living in the mansion in Malibu, they work their ass off for it. They work their ass off. They work their ass off for it, right? They work their ass off for it. So you realize that they've done the work, they've paid their dues. So that's a phenomenal question because there's a lot of jealous people around, and jealous people are only weak minds. But they have to heal as well. And if you are a jealous person, you need to start practicing self-love. And also you need to remind yourself that jealousy always comes from a place of lack. You see, when you love the life you're living, you're not jealous of anyone. Let me repeat that. Once you love the life you're living, you're not jealous of anyone. Now, with jealousy and insecurity, you want to turn that energy into motivation, right? This is where you can turn your jealousy into something that can work for you. Turn your jealousy into inspiration. You might see someone with everything that you want, and that should motivate you. You want to get inspired to say, oh my gosh, if I work like that, maybe I can get that too. Now, what was jealousy has now been transformed to motivation. So when I was coming up, there were people who were like way ahead of me. They had a YouTube goal to what I'm like, damn. And before I was jealous, I'm like, wait a second, let's turn that energy into inspiration, motivation. Now I'm like, okay, I'm seeing them as a goal to say, okay, I need to get at that. I need to be at their level. I need to be at their level, right? So always remind yourself you can turn that jealousy into motivation, inspiration, and also a goal to say, okay, I need to work towards that. But that's a phenomenal question. And these are the questions I like, deep divers. So once again, phenomenal question. Look, things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things that you did in 2024, deep divers, that you want to leave behind? Let me tell you one. Eating fast food, cheat meals, right? So a lot of people, truth be told, they have a cheat meal every now and again. And sometimes some people, they just let themselves go. They eat from the dollar menu and they eat bad food, right? Are you someone, deep divers? Be honest. Be honest. You eat junk food from time to time and you let your health go. It happens to all of us. And this is what we have to throw in the trash in 2024. Because you see, once again, it's so easy to eat bad food because you got to remind yourself everywhere you go, there's bad food. The supermarkets, you have to spend a long time there just to find some good food. The restaurants full of GMOs, MSG, monosodium glutamate, right? All of that crap, additives. So it's really hard. Let me say a big shout out to Laura Fit. You're always so appreciated, Laurie Fit. Let me give you a round of applause for always supporting the show. You're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you, dear. The show, you're most definitely appreciated. Saying thank you. Hey, you're most definitely appreciated. Thank you too. So it's so easy to eat bad foods. Don't you agree? Don't you agree, everyone in the chat? It's so easy to eat bad foods. It's so easy to eat from the dollar menu because you see, eating good food is expensive. Eating good food takes preparation. Eating good food takes mindfulness. Eating bad food is easy because It's instant. And things to let go of, to leave behind in 2024, things to leave behind in 2024 is fast food. Because there are so many people who don't realize that there was a Finland study, and the Finland study showed that people who ate processed foods were more depressed than people who ate a healthy plant-based meal or whatever, more fruits and vegetables, right? So everything we consume is going to affect what we produce, who we are. Every 35 days, your body is making new cells from the foods you're eating. You're literally what you eat. So things we did and things we should leave behind in 2024 is being fast, cheap, and easy. Fast food. Fast, cheap, and easy. It's easy to get it. It's fast to make it. And it's cheap to buy it. Right? Fast, cheap, and easy foods. We got to leave it behind. We got to throw it in the trash in 2024. And it's hard to do. Because there's a Pizza Express right around the corner. There's a KFC right around the corner. There's a McDonald's right around the corner. There's a Popeyes right around the corner. There's a Wendy's right around the corner. So it's so easy. And it's a lot harder to eat well. It's a lot harder to eat well. But this is what we're doing in 2025. And it's going to be a big effort on all of our parts. But what I'm doing is to always remind myself that, hey, you got to stay on board. You know, you got to stay on the health side. Because you see, athletes only eat certain things, right? Certain athletes only consume certain foods for a reason, because they're training. They need to be at a certain weight. They need to have a certain mindset. There are certain foods an athlete can't eat or drink. But you've forgotten that you are an athlete. You are an athlete and you are here. So you got to remind yourself every single day you're performing. Every single day you're performing. What determines how well you perform is your fuel. What determines how far you go, how fast you go, how long you can last is your fuel, right? And I'm going to do more food videos because, once again, there's a reason why I'm still here. People say, Ralph, you're the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, thanks, deep divers. Right? I'm the gift that keeps on giving, but it's only because I had to leave behind a bad diet, foods which were fast, cheap, and easy. And it's really hard when you go out to eat with friends. You know, they got all of this food on the table, and some of it is not the healthiest, especially around the holiday times. This is where more and more people eat bad foods than ever, because now they got an excuse, right? And then New Year is like, hey, I'm going to lose all this weight. Ozempic, right? So, things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things that you did in 2024 as this year comes to a close, deep divers, that you want to leave behind? I wrote down this: let go of what no longer serves you and make space for what inspires you, right? Let me say a big shout out to the phenomenal Infinite Light Wizardry in the house. Let me give you a round of applause for being so awesome, brother. You're appreciated. Infinite Light Wizardry, shout out to you. Always shining. Thank you, Ralph. Hey, I'm here for you. Shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. What are some of the things that you are leaving behind in 2024? What are some of the things that you are letting go of in 2024? We have to leave behind. That has to stay in 2024. So one of the biggest things I've seen is, a lot of people were kind of putting up with it. A lot of people were settling for it. And 2025 is all about giving yourself that kick up the backside. Because you see, it's now or never. And this is what I'm leaving behind in 2024. those excuses, those explanations, that long list of why I couldn't do it, which was really, I was just sleeping. I was just too tired to do it. I was too lazy to do it. I couldn't do it. I didn't have enough time to do it. How long is the list, deep divers, of things when it comes to why you can't do it? So I was finishing Feel Alive Part 2, and it's finished over 400 pages, 71 chapters. Get ready for it. But I had already finished it some months back. But I'm like, damn, I got to kind of put it on InDesign and all of these things, call my distributor, all of these things. And I was just procrastinating. I'm like, I'll do it in a couple of months' time. So even when we're just about to cross the finish line, how many times do we still procrastinate? How many times do we still say, wait a second, I'm too tired to do it right now? And 2025 is really not about that. That's the reason why we want to get pumped up for this new year, to bring in a whole new us, a whole new energy, and to remind ourselves that, hey, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. You know, a lot of people don't realize that it's now or never. And this is the mindset for 2025. You see, you got to remind yourself that you've got a legacy to leave behind, deep divers. You've all got a legacy that you have to leave behind. There's things that you have to do. South Korea, plane with 179 people went down. Terrible. Those people had dreams and visions, but tomorrow isn't promised. So you got to remind yourself, 2024 is about realizing you can't be on that couch forever. Because you see, when you're on that couch, lying down all day, I've been there, deep divers. It feels good. But when you wake up, you feel terrible because you're like, actually, I've wasted time. Actually, that day has gone by. That's a day you're never going to get back. The amount of people who don't realize that you only get a certain amount of time to do what you have to do. After that, you may not get the same time. You won't get the same opportunity. And the game changes. If I didn't start YouTube back then, I wouldn't be here right now with a YouTube Gold Award, 2 million subscribers, because I planted the seed that my future self will thank me for. That's the reason why I'm tasting the fruits of my labor. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. Someone said, Ralph, your slow motions are getting a whole lot faster. Your slow motions are getting a whole lot faster. Oh, yes, they are. Eyes on the world. You're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause. And let me give a big thank you to Cecile, who came in on the tip page. You're most definitely appreciated. I appreciate that. And as Nila Latif, you are appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause for just supporting the show, just turning up. The cat down the road says thank you. Gratitude, baby. As Nilla, shout out to you. Many of your videos have helped me in my healing journey since 5 years ago. Thank you. Much gratitude from Singapore. Hey, we're worldwide, baby. Singapore in the house. Shout out to everyone in Singapore. And I appreciate that. And that's why I was saying, you know, many of your videos have helped me in my healing journey since 5 years ago. And that's why we've got to remind ourselves, deep divers, everything counts. Where you are right now matters because it's going to make up where you will be in the next 5 years. What you're doing right now is so essential, so imperative, so profound that a lot of people don't even realize it. And this is the reason why 2024 is about realizing anything we're doing. 2024, we have to let go of the mindset that it doesn't matter. Today doesn't matter. Oh, I got tomorrow, right? This is the mindset a lot of people had in 2024. Oh, it doesn't matter. There'll be tomorrow. Next week, I'll do it next week. And that has to go in the trash because 2025 is about realizing this moment will never come again. This moment will never come again. And this is the mindset we need for this new year, 2025, which is here. You have to remind yourself that everything you do every single day matters. Everything you do every single day, every single second matters. What you're doing, how you're doing it, it all adds up. So we got to be careful. It's so easy to once again fall asleep. It's so easy once again to get carried away. Get carried away. Sometimes people are celebrating so much, they forget that there's still work that has to be done. And, things to leave behind in 2024 is this belief that we know everything. We've mastered it, because it's that period when you stop growing. When a lot of people say, you know what, I don't have to learn anything. I've arrived. I'm still hungry. That's why I'm doing live streaming. I'm doing all of these things because I'm just getting started. We ain't even had breakfast yet. I'm just getting started. So even me, I'm hungry because I haven't had breakfast, deep divers, right? So you have to be hungry. You have to remind yourself that don't let it get to your head, because that's when you start to fall. That's when you start to fall off. There's so many people who had so much. They were blessed with so much. They got carried away and they got consumed, right? So Echoes of Light, let me give you a round of applause. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Echoes of Light, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. So we're talking about, deep divers, things we did we should leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things you did in 2024 that you want to leave behind there? You want to keep in 2024? One of the biggest things I realized is that in 2024, a lot of people, they forgot to invest in people. And what I mean is that, you see, one of the most valuable commodities in the world is not a phone or a car or a house. It's actually a human being. We have the most value. Things were designed to be loved. Things were designed to be used. Things were designed to be used. People were designed to be loved. The problem with the world is that things are being used. Things are being loved and people are being used. Right? Kayleen Page, let me give you a big shout out. You're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. So, once again, the problem with the world is that things were designed to be used. People were designed to be loved, right? And the problem is that things are being loved and people are being used. So, in 2024, a lot of people were so in love with their phone, so in love with social media and other things that they forgot about building real connections And 2025 is all about that. It's all about building real connections. Things we're leaving behind in 2024 are shallow ass relationships. Don't you agree? Do you agree or do you disagree, right? Do you agree? The cat down the road agrees that shallow relationships have got to go. Shallow relationships have got to go. I don't want to know what's up. Talk to me about something deeper than that. Because a lot of people haven't got anything to say. And it becomes evident. It becomes apparent when you start talking to them. And we have to allow ourselves to let these connections go and leave them behind in 2024. The shallow ass conversations, the meaningless interactions, the pointless interactions, the repetitive interactions, all of that has to go. And 2025 is about deeper connections, deeper intimacy, deeper conversations. If you talk to someone, start diving deep with them, start asking them about different things, because that's going to give you a better connection, better relationship, better friendship with that person. The amount of people who just stay on the surface, you talk to someone at work, hi, how you doing? You don't even know who they are. You'd be surprised who they are behind closed doors. You would be surprised who they are even when they finish work. So you might think you're talking to that person like you know them. You have no idea. And the only way you can begin to crack who people are is when you start talking differently. Not just the how are you? I'm fine. How are you? I'm fine. Hey, how are you doing? I'm great. All of that surface conversation will only keep you at a surface level with them, right? And that's the reason why you have to, that's what you got to leave behind. That's what I'm leaving behind in 2024. The conversations which are mundane, the conversations which don't lead anywhere, the conversations which are only on the surface. We got to dive deeper in 2025. We have to dive deeper in 2025. Deep divers, how you feeling today? Things to leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things that you are leaving behind? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, deep divers. I'm going to read a few right now. Put it in the chat what you're leaving behind in 2024. I'm going to read 3. Let's go. Put it in the chat right now. What are the things you're leaving behind in 2024, deep divers? Put it on in the chat. I'm going to pull them up on the screen. Hit that like button, share the video. Hit that like button, share the video. What are some of the things that you're leaving behind in 2024? Okay. Silverio, leaving behind worries. Okay, I like that. Laurie Fit is diving deeper in 2025. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. Shout out to Young Soul Kiss It Beta. Shout out to you. I'm leaving behind broke boy energy. Woo! That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. Okay. Tez SMG, leaving behind weed. Okay. Laurie Fit again. Inconsistent friendship. Absolutely. Demons. Okay. Shamika, sadness. Kimberly, shout out to you. Negative thinking. Okay. Jayla, inauthenticity. Okay. Nico, ego. What are you leaving behind in 2024 and starting off with in 2025? Fear. Right? So, what else? Toxic energies. Shout out to you, Natalie. Cigarettes. That's a big one. That's a huge one. And that's amazing. Infinite light wizardry. Leaving behind resentment. Okay, that's good. Proclaim it right now, deep divers. What are you leaving behind in 2024? Approval. Okay. What are you leaving behind, Mr. Dog? I'm leaving behind my ego. Stop being nice to me. Okay. What are you leaving behind in 2024 for healing's sakes? Putting what people think above my purpose. Woo! I like that. I like that, right? So I wanted just to read a few of your comments, there's so much that we have to leave behind. Lack of self-respect, right? So many things we got to leave behind, because once again, you see, 2025 is not about saying what you're going to do. It's all about what you're going to leave behind in 2024. That's what's going to make your 2025 phenomenal. It's all about what you're leaving behind in 2024. Because as soon as the 2025 comes, people are saying, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They don't realize they're carrying old programs from 2024 right into 2025. It's going to be the repeat, and only worse. If you don't leave behind certain things in 2024 where they belong, 2025 is only going to be terrible for you. It's going to haunt you. And that's the reason why I made this video, because there's things that have to go in the garbage in 2024 as it comes to a close, that we have to get ready. We got to create that space for 2025, and it's got to be empty. Your 2025 has to start from a clean slate. It's got to start empty. And there's been so much baggage, right? Arpad is saying addictions, right? A lot of people have addictions in 2024. And you even saw certain people in the media who had addictions, right? So addictions are big, and that's something to leave behind in 2024. And True Bay, toxic relationships, absolutely. Toxic relationships is a big one. Flaming Hot Cheeto, shout out to you. Toxic workspace, woo, that's a big one. Toxic workspace, woo. Let's just talk about that for a second, because there's so many people who have a toxic workspace, and a lot of people don't realize where you work, you spend 1/3 of your life, 1/3 of your day. You sleep for 8 hours, you work for 8 hours, you do eating and whatever in the other 8 hours. 8 hours of work minimum, right? People are doing in this matrix. If you have a toxic workspace, the other 8 hours are ruined. And this is the reason why 16 hours of people's lives is wasted, because they spend the first 8 hours at work, the second 8 hours complaining about it, then the other 8 hours having nightmares about it, only to wake up and do the same thing over again. That's a definition of insanity. That's a definition of insanity. So absolutely, toxic workspace, it has to be left behind in 2024, because 2025 is about having a work that empowers you, having a work that brings peace to your soul, having a work that takes you to the next level, having a work that brings you abundance, having a work that is helping you evolve in all areas of your life. So let me shout out to Jamal. Pessimism, absolutely. It's so easy. It's so easy to get caught up in the doom and gloom of what's coming, and you have to find something positive to look forward to. Deep divers, we're talking about things we should leave behind in 2024, because 2025 is going to be amazing, but it can only be amazing if we're able to first leave behind certain things in 2024. We don't want to bring it with us. We don't want to bring it into 2025, right? So once again, this was 2024 for a lot of people. A lot of people put their dreams on hold. A lot of people put their visions on hold. A lot of people said, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. I'll do it next whenever. And they started just to lie on the couch. And you've got to be careful that it's a trap. And what I'm leaving behind in 2024 is too much comfort. Do you agree, deep divers, or disagree that too much comfort can actually be a trap? And there are so many people out there who have a lot of comfort. Everything is comfortable. Everything is cozy. And that puts you fast asleep. You get lazy. You get docile. You don't become hungry again. And that's the reason why a lot of people, once they get all of that comfort, they stop everything. And 2025 is all about staying hungry, not getting too comfortable. In fact, it's about moving out of your comfort zone, because growth happens when you're out of your comfort zone. Anytime you're out of your comfort zone, you're going to be leveling up. You're going to be 10xing your life. You're going to be going places no one has ever gone before. You're going to be going places that no one has ever gone before, deep divers. Discomfort brings us the most results. Discomfort brings us the most results ever. So that goes in the trash. All of that comfort is a trap. And I can tell you a story about comfort. You know, I got comfortable in 2024 and I realized I was getting a bit lazy. Ralph Smart was lying on the couch. Oh my gosh. I had to be careful, because what created Infinite Waters was discomfort. Me going out into nature, all kind of things in the heart of nature, deep diver, snakes crawling around on the ground. And I was making content, getting uncomfortable, and growing at the same time. So 2025 is all about that. It's about getting uncomfortable, but growing at the same time, because growth happens in discomfort. Things we did, we should leave behind in 2024. What are some of the things that you did that you want to leave behind in 2024? One of the things I did say is that there's so many people out there who they believe that they don't deserve it. It's called imposter syndrome. That has to be left behind in 2024. Once you start saying, actually, I'm worthy for it. When you start acting like it's already here, the doors will be open for you. So 2025 is all about realizing you got to put yourself in that place. You're already that person. Like Pharrell Williams said, all you have to do is put yourself in that place and start realizing it's already yours. This is what 2025 is all about. We leave behind in 2024 the lack of self-care. We embrace the self-care in 2025, because we realize that actually it's our mental that is even more important than our physical. Deep divers, I wanted to share this video with you to remind you it's time to let go of what's not serving you and make space for what inspires you. This is what 2025 is all about. We've got to make space. We've got to make a whole lot of space for what is truly going to inspire us, for what is truly going to take us to the next level. So, shout out to all of you deep divers. Hit that like button if you support The Real, share the video. Hit that like button if you support The Real deep divers, share the video. And I'm excited. Matt Suoka, Kiti, shout out to you. I'm going to leave need for approval. That's what's up. Let me give you a round of applause. You're most definitely appreciated. I'm going to leave the need for approval. Absolutely. And you know, so many people have been asking for approval. They've been waiting for approval. And you have to remind yourself that even me along my journey, there was no one to ask. because everyone who was telling me how to do it was putting me in a box. I had a limitation placed upon me. So what you're saying is very powerful, because I'm going to leave the need for approval. Things to leave behind in 2024. I've got another one for you, deep divers. This is basic. Once again, what happens to people who think they know it all? This is basic stuff. You see, once again, there's a lot of people. I invest in information that can help me become my greatest version. I teach it. I share with people because I want to show you what this journey has done for my entire life. When you invest in your own future, you will always be reaping the fruits of your labor. You will always be smiling and sitting on the throne. But how many people in 2024 didn't do that? A lot of people in 2024 said, I don't want to hear that positive stuff. I don't want to hear that becoming your greatest version stuff. And what happened? These people had all kinds of trouble because they didn't listen to the information that could take them to the next level. Once again, 2024, we're leaving behind information that doesn't take us to the next level. And 2025 is about getting information that empowers us. It's not about being goody two-shoes. Sometimes I'm still going to dive into matrix topics, but I'm going to flip it and show you how we can learn from it to become our greatest versions. So we shouldn't get stuck just on low vibrational topics and gossip and news and all of that. We've got to find the jewels inside of them. And there's always jewels to be found, lessons to be learned, but also reminding yourself to be careful. There's a reason why I was doing videos on a few people in the media. I did a video on a few people, but I didn't stay there, because once I've covered that topic, I move on. If it needs to be addressed again, I can talk about it. But I'm not just waking up every single day to say, okay, let me do another video on this celebrity. Let me do another video on that person. Ain't nobody got time for that, because 2025 is all about focusing on yourself and not getting caught up in low frequencies and vibrations. Once again, remind yourself that yes, it's important to talk about it, things which are happening in the world and all of that, but you don't want to get stuck there. And so many people get stuck not realizing how we built this thing was from the foundation, building it up with all the tools that can help us live our best lives. So that's the difference. You've got to remind yourself, things to leave behind in 2024 is always poking your nose into other people's business, always being a chatty patty. And 2025 is about focusing on yourself and being the best version of yourself. Deep divers, I want to round it off about 2 hours. I want all of you to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, join the new Ralph Smart Patreon page for all new exclusive content that's going to help you become your greatest version. Patreon.com/Ralph Smart Deep Divers. Click the link down below and be inspired. Let me give a huge shout out to everybody who's been on this live stream, who's been on this powerful show. I love all of you. Have a phenomenal 2025. And Cat Down the Road said, don't eat too many pies. Apparently you eat too many pies, deep divers. Cat Down the Road is like, chill on the pies. Okay. So 2025 is going to be amazing for your deep divers. And we've just left a whole lot of stuff in 2024. So now we can move forward the way we're supposed to in 2025. Once again, thank you to everyone who's been here. We had a blast. We had fun. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep. Once again, stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Let me play you the music, deep divers, we always finish the show with. Once again, shout out to all of you.
so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here.
Shout out to all of you deep divers. Once again, just giving you a little bit of rhythm. And Darcy, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. I appreciate that. And once again, deep divers, phenomenal show. Wait a second. We got another question coming in. You keep the questions rolling, deep divers. I keep on going. Right? Juelia, shout out to you. Hey Ralph, what do you plan on doing for New Year's? That's a great question. You know, for me, I always just chill, and enjoy it. You know, because you got to remind yourself, deep divers, that every day is a New Year's day for me. You know, it's no different from any other day. I always started off every day as a New Year's day. It's a new day. And you have to begin to see that. Don't wait for them to tell you when a new cycle begins, because the truth is the new year is actually March 1st. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, in the Matrix, it's New Year's, right? But I'm just chilling, you know, have fun, see family, and all of that. 5D Abundance, shout out to you. Happy 2025, Ralph. And all the deep divers, make it big. You are appreciated. Shout out to you, right? So, deep divers of planet Earth, I want to thank everyone for being here. And once again, we just dive deep. Things we're leaving behind in 2024 because 2025 is here. We're going to the next level. We're manifesting anything we want. It's all happening. It's all possible. Thank you to everyone who's been here. One love. Peace.